Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe. Right now, it's really playing games, the Extinction Curse. I'm the GM, Graham, and sorry if nobody gets that dumb joke I made.
Is
Uh,
that Frank
yeah,
Sinatra?
I did a cover. It's just be like next year, but I did now instead. It's dumb. It's really bad. Anyway, Brian is playing Faith, the Tiefling Monk.
I only know it as a Simpsons reference, but I recognize the song as being something that exists.
Garrett is playing Fabian, the Catfolk Rogue.
Alright, well, at least I'm playing a clown, so.
There we go. Ross is Oartius, the Lizardfolk Swashbuckler.
Hello.
Other Ross is Marion, the Half-Elf Oracle.
I'm actually surprised that you haven't done that joke yet.
I probably have. And Patrick is Horatio, the Half-Elf Wizard.
We have a new friend.
Yes, you have little rat, this little rat dude, who happens to have their own circus trick, that goes pretty handily with you guys because you have a circus. Fidget, this little Yosoki, who has all kinds of explosives and alchemical devices to toss in the air to the delight and of children and horror of their parents. Lighting and juggling them in a spectacle certain to amaze. So you now have that NPC trick available to you. You happen to find Fidget in these old abandoned ruins that had been squatted in. There were two other siblings with Fidget, but they seemed to be okay, kind of pawning Fidget off on you. Fidget had heard about the circus before, but always just never had the opportunity, and now is thrilled, ecstatic to be here, part of the Circus of Wayward Wonders. And the two other rat folk went on their merry way, apparently having stolen a good shipment of alchemical goods, giving you a few to be like, we were never here, and then went on their way. And then after resolving that with them peacefully, you cleared out the rest of the swamp, did a thorough search. There were some more bugs, giant centipedes, yuck. Managed to extinguish those as well. And then spend the next about 10 days or so preparing for your first big performance here in the city of Escadar, where your former circus is currently still an establishment, the Celestial Menagerie. So you're trying to put on this performance. You've upgraded your tent. It's a larger tent size now. You've been promoting the circus fairly well for a few days. The crowd is beginning to trickle in this evening. It seems a little bit small, since you have a bigger tent and the crowd is roughly the same size as it was before. It seems like, we could fill this out a little bit more. But, maybe people will come on as the word goes out and people will come in throughout the night. So we are on the evening of your performance. And I would like to know where each of you is kind of in preparation for this circus, either backstage, out front. What do you think your role is for this upcoming performance? It's including if any of you are planning on taking any of the non-performer roles, backup clown, cloud coordinator, medic, lighting, etc., etc. So I'll start with Faith. What do you think you're doing before the big show?
I'm backstage, and I am either trying to keep Fidget from having like a nervous breakdown, or just making sure that she's ready to go on stage.
More the latter. She, occasionally once in a while will kind of look out at the crowd and take a peek through the curtain. You have to pull her back. Seems just extremely excitable, and you're mostly worried that some of the fireworks that Fidget has kind of on hand will accidentally be set off. So, keeping good watch over her backstage. Fabian, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, I think Fabian is probably with the other clowns, practicing, getting ready, psyching each other up.
Sure.
Clown camaraderie.
Yeah, the clown posse, as it were, for the Circus of Wayward Wonders. Alrighty, getting back and getting the clowns ready, because the clowns by this point are pretty seasoned at covering up any gaffes and blunders that might happen, and since it's the first big show in Escadar, you want to just make sure they're ready to go and on point. Cool. Marion, what do you think you're doing?
Marion is definitely backstage or somewhere similarly isolated and is basically just taking a quick cat nap before the show.
Sure, sure. Just sleeping back there amongst the, various wagons that have hauled in supplies. There's a hustle and bustle. The dwarven throwers putting their cannon over there. The professor walking back and forth, and Marion dozing in the midst of all of it. Horatio, what are you doing?
I think I'm out front trying to sell tickets.
Okay. Trying to make sure that people get their ticket, get money, get paid. That's a big factor of this, and being the accountant for the circus. Trying to make sure that you can actually, get there. Cubby the dog-faced dog is out there with you as well. Now the official ring master, as it were. A big attraction now as people are coming in. They're like, oh, the dog talks to them all of a sudden and kind of goes around and helps collect people's money and tickets in his little mouth and takes it over for you for counting and distributing tickets. It's adorable. And then Oarshisk, what about you?
I'm gonna be like under the stage, making sure that it's like secure and everything's, just doing a last check to make sure everything's stable.
Sure thing. The rigging and the poles and the tightrope and the netting. Just making sure that all the safety precautions are in order. And some people will look and kind of like point out to the lizard folk. They're not sure if you're kind of part of the act or not. Sometimes there'll be somebody out in this audience warming them up before the actual show starts. But then they kind of notice you're just tying a rope and then making sure this pole is in the right place, and they kind of stop paying attention to you.
We don't, do we?
No, that is an upgrade that you can purchase for your
that's right.
circus. Or spotlights, so it's mostly the hanging torches kind of cast flames throughout there to give them this little mysterious ambiance to it all. All right, so those are your positions as the circus and the people start to file in. The crowd begins to gather. All right. So, So, Horatio. As you're out front, trying to sell these tickets, and the crowd coming through, thronging through in numbers, you're getting pretty excited. You notice that there's a contingency of the people coming in who are being diverted and kind of go off to a separate area. And you see sort of like these two queues start to form. The main one kind of where you're selling the tickets and all. But the other part of it is forming another line over there. And you spot over and kind of look and see what it's about, and you can see that there is a man there who seems to be handing out these silvery little pieces of paper to folks and taking a little bit of coin there. And you see one or two of these people who, after getting this silvery piece of paper, leave and go away from your circus. It's not hard as you kind of peer over and can stand up like on a box above the rest of the crowd. You can see a familiar face peeking through and talking to the crowd, one that looks a little bit like this.
Oh, great. My favorite person.
You indeed see Delamar over there. You see that he is kind of going and passing out, and then a piercing voice goes through the crowd and calls out, "You trying to look at something that you want to be amazed by? This is not the place for you. These are amateurs. These are folly. But there is a heavenly place where you can see such wonders that your eyes will never believe. And luckily, my good friend Delamar here has just the place for you. The Celestial Menagerie!" And with this barking, biting voice, part of your brain starts to remember, oh yeah, it's her. Ruana Niyama. the half-elf barker for the Celestial Menagerie, is there alongside Delamar as he's weaseling and saying, yes, this, of course, it's a much better show, trust me, is handing these out and taking a bit of money. She is calling out. She catches your eye and glances around with like a smirk. As you see the people in the audience are coming into the circus are a little confused at this point. You know, some of them are like, are we supposed to be going here? Are we supposed to not? What's going on? So you notice all of this occurring. What do you do?
I would like to... Yeah. I want to cast Personal Rain Cloud on... on Delamar.
Okay. Then, let me see here. Personal Rain Cloud on Delamar, eh?
And the range is, let's see. What did you put in the range? It is 60 feet.
Okay, they're definitely within 60 feet of you.
Okay.
You can kind of go, you know, with all the hustle and bustle of the crowd, kind of conceal some of the somatic and verbal components and cast the spell out. He makes a reflex save. So the cloud begins to form in like this dark, roiling cloud, just kind of, you know, right above where he is. And you see him kind of track it for a moment, and he kind of panics for just a second, but then he very quickly steps out of the way, and the rain just kind of falls down. People around him are like, whoa, what's going on? And Ruana says, see, a sign from the heavens that you are going to the wrong circus. The gods are angry with you. They send this little storm cloud to show you that this is the wrong circus to be at, that instead you wish to be at the Celestial Menagerie. And people are like, whoa, wow. As he critically succeeds his reflex save. And they kind of go around, and they start to, a larger contingent go off to them. At this point, they kind of track back to where the spell kind of originated from. Both of them are looking in your direction, just smirking and smiling. And they begin to kind of peter off and go farther in that like farther away from you, with a group of audience members following them off.
I want to go back and find Marion.
All right. Ratio heads back into the back of the circus. All right. So you head back there. Okay. You find your brother napping back there and the rest of your team backstage doing their various preparations.
All right, what's wrong?
Wake. Oh, you are awake. I don't know why we didn't expect this. Maybe you expected this. Celestial Menagerie is here to steal all of our patrons.
Oh, great.
Want to go yell at them?
Do what?
Would you like to go yell at them?
Oh, yes, very much. Okay.
All right. The rest of you see the Colder brothers begin to go back out to the front of the tent. The rest of you staying put or going with them?
I'm gonna follow them.
I will gesture to let them follow.
Yeah, I will go too. I mean, this
So everybody
can't
should
be
go.
good.
But safety precautions.
I'll stay 6 feet apart.
It's Ruana and the slime.
The slime.
Wait, didn't we already fight the slime?
No, tell him. Oh, you don't. Right, you've only met him once. Delamar,
Yeah.
the slimy guy,
Oh, not an actual slime.
metaphorically slimy.
Basically.
His personality. He's a slime on the inside.
I mean, maybe he is. Like, I don't know if
A very
slime can-
advanced slime. Yeah. I will go as well, I suppose.
I mean, you understand my confusion because we have fought different kinds of slime, both the black kind and the gelatinous kind.
I do.
But I'll
I don't know what color gelatinous cubes are though. I think they're
Usually
green.
clear.
I'll hang out in the crowd a little bit though.
Okay, hanging back a little bit, Arshis. Fabian, you're going with them or staying backstage?
I'll stay. I'll go with them.
All right. So you all return back out to the front, where the circus. The people are still filing in. Decent crowd, but you do notice a diversion has definitely occurred. By the time you get back out there, you do not see Ruana or Delamar in the immediate vicinity around the front of the circus.
Now, so you should have come and got me when they were still here.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd make it rain on him, and he'd look like an idiot, and just dodged out of the way. And
All right. Well,
I think there's a spell that would let me just like shout to you from some amount of distance. But
great. Yeah, that would be super helpful in this exact situation. You're right
actually,
about that.
no, I even know that spell. I didn't prepare it today.
Ah,
Sending.
Story of my life.
As you all kind of shake your heads and feel a little bit exasperated about what has gone on so far, it is getting closer and closer to performance time. About time to the crowd is starting to thin out front, and a lot of people are finding their seats. Tickets have been distributed. Performers are warming up and all that. So are any of you planning on taking any of the non-performer roles during the circus?
I definitely am,
Animal
because
handler,
I don't even have a trick.
backup clown,
where-
band leader, carnival. Well, some of them require some extra things.
Can you pop out that handout?
Yeah. And
If you
there's
happen to have it.
about 100 of them.
Yeah.
Let's see
I don't
here.
remember which is which.
It is.
Who do we have that's available for performers? Just out of curiosity.
Let
Who's
me.
being a diva today?
I don't think anybody is indisposed of anymore.
That's right.
I think Mordain
Has
may
Mordain
still be.
come out of her tent since?
So putting on the show at toward the very bottom, there's the, right above the random circus events. There's a list of what the non-performer roles are. As to who you have available to perform, you have Axel's Amazing Aviary, the Dwarven Throwers, Elysia Mr. Tickles, the Featherfall Five, the Flambonian Sisters, Victor Volcano, and Fidget's Fireworks. Mordain is still recovering from her stonification. She has gone just full, dark glasses, her hair wrapped up, and tightly bound, this big fluffy robe, and she sits in a chair and just says, "I know you're going to have such a hard time without me again, but I implore you to press on despite our difficulties and despite everything. Know that one day perhaps I could join you again, but alas, the attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed." And so she is unavailable for this performance.
Just ignore her. Anything else is giving her exactly what she wants.
No.
Yes, so Mordain is not quite ready to perform yet.
So I'm-
Go ahead, Marion.
Yeah, I'm thinking we can do the lineup basically the same as last time, with Marion as the opener. Build up. We can put Fidget out there with someone else. Big number, Ararsisk, and then the finale with Victor and Faith and Fabian again.
Okay, well, it is a new town, so it's not like anyone's seen this before.
That's right. You can do all the same old tricks.
Yep.
It'll be fresh and practiced.
Just like vaudeville.
So Marion for the opener, Fidget was somebody else for the build-up. Larshist, big number, finale, Fabian, Faith, and who else?
Victor.
Victor, yeah.
And Victor. Okay.
Victor.
Victor.
I think last time, didn't I do clown coordinator?
Clown coordinator is pretty good because it frees up an action for the
Yeah.
clowns. It's just a reaction.
We didn't wind
No,
up needing it though, I think.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think.
Although
did
we
do
have a higher target this time.
because we're not usually going to be doing 3 attempts per turn anyway. Usually it's going to be like 2 and potentially a reaction
Unless
if we fuck
things
one
go
up.
bad.
Yeah, especially because of the multi-check penalty.
Right.
Maybe I do security guard.
I mean, the
Just get
question
rid of
is,
hecklers or scalpers.
do we think that
Oh
this
no,
also
you did
Menagerie is playing this?
pyrotechnic, right? That's what we were going for. We had like a fire theme.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was it.
that's what it was.
Oh, that's true because we've got Victor.
We have 3 fire.
Yeah.
Fire
Do we want to
theme.
do we want to do that again then?
Yeah, that
let's
worked out
do
really
it.
well. Like we got a lot more points than we needed,
And now you have room for that.
and now we need
Second.
those points.
Yeah.
Because Faith's was fire as well, right?
Yeah,
Or
Faith is fire. Victor is fire.
Mine's fire.
Here's the fire.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
Fire
yeah,
tactics
like
it is. Remind me to learn Burning Hands just to help.
Ooh, prestidigitation won't work, you know.
but it's weird though because fireworks don't count as fire because they're technically alchemical.
So just one quick thing here. Wanted to look at.
Well, there's not really much flame. It's more like, sparks and sounds.
So if we want to stick with the fire theme, the Flamboni sisters are fire jugglers.
Yeah,
We can have them with
with Fidget. Yeah, I was
With
thinking the
Fidget.
same thing.
although it does seem like 2 juggling tricks at the same time, but I mean that's
It makes them thematically coherent.
So looking at the Flamboni sisters to go into with the build up and Fidget. Fidget
Yes.
and the Flamboni sisters, a bunch of
Yeah.
fire juggling. All right. Okay. As you're pointing at people and saying when they're going to be, you point to Fidget and she's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. The Flamboni sisters just like, okay, calm down now. While you're doing all this, one of the dwarven throwers, Gilnar, this guy right here, kind of comes up to you and says, "Hey, bosses, I thought you might want to know a few of us in some of the roustabouts are getting some offers. It seems that that Delamar fellow is now trying to offer up a pretty big sign-on bonus if we go back to the Celestial Menagerie. I mean, we're not gonna take it. I mean, we're all family here, right? But I mean, it's a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of gold. I just thought you might want to know. And you see, as Yilnar says this, a few of the other performers, including like the Flamboyant sisters, kind of look to each other and are a little like concerned. You can get this general sense of the performers a little shaken by this, especially those that know about the Celestial Menagerie and come from there are kind of like, feeling a little uneasy about things at this point.
It doesn't surprise me, Jilnar, but you do know that those bonuses are coming out of all of the other performers' paychecks over there. We left them for a reason.
Let me see something here. Okay. Do you kind of say these things to Yilnar, and he kind of says, right, I mean, well, that, of course, the right thing to do is to stay here and not do any of that.
Not
But
just the right thing. It's
yeah, you're trying to reason with him a little bit, but he's nodding. Some of the other performers are a little shaken. I mean, it's all still very nerve-wracking being back in Escadar. So the people who are familiar with this town are just a little on edge. All right. So, without much further ado, I think it is time to get to our wonderful, magnificent, magical spreadsheet.
Amazing.
As you begin your circus performance.
Spreadsheet. This is exactly why I play
Yes.
role-playing games for.
Numbers.
That's
All
right.
right.
Circus numbers.
Circus numbers.
Nope, I'm currently drawing.
Just scribble all over it. So, one thing you will notice to start out with, as the lights begin to dim, the audience begins to settle into there's not quite as many as you were hoping. Your anticipation, unfortunately, has suffered a bit due to the machinations of Delamar and Ruana. But your big tent is there. After a short little while, short intermission, the crowd begins to hush. And Cubby, dog-faced dog, comes out. Lights come up a little bit more. It's having to, adjust the lanterns. Cubby says, I have traveled much and seen much of this world. But I tell you truly, though I roam on these four paws from town to town, there is no place on the wide face of Golarion that is quite like Escadar. From the streets and the wharfs and the docks, the city built layer upon itself. And I have smelled it all. And they kind of laugh and chuckle. So, as a thanks to you, many of us return to this fair town to give you a humble but enchanting performance. And as he does that, the lanterns flare up once more, the circus going into full gear as the opener comes about. Marion, as the lights flare up, some smoke comes up, and the opener is all yours to take it away with as you please.
Okay. Yes, Escadar. A city with much history. And much like that history, the souls of those who came before linger on, unseen and unheard by all but me. I need someone, one volunteer, anyone in the audience.
There is a gnome, young-ish woman, kind of gets pushed up by some friends, some gnomish friends, and comes forward and is like, "Oh, okay. Hey, I guess I'll me, I guess."
All right, I rolled a 25 for that.
That is a success. So that generates just a little bit of excitement. Check on that. So that is 5 excitement. Hooray.
Awesome. Yes, you're not actually from here, but that's easy because you're a gnome. What is actually special is that I can tell that you are from the five mountain kingdoms.
Five Kings Mountain.
Your mother's name was Judy.
Yeah? Oh, and everyone kind of like shrieks a little bit. And you can see her gnomish mother or gnomish grandmother holding up this big sign that says Judy kind of behind her and like starts to like just write on this big whiteboard. So only Horatio can see just the little ghost grandmother just holding up the answers to all the things you want to know about her.
And yeah, I'll follow up that with a second try. Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no!
You got them clowns, and you can use them once per act. And the only
Yep.
one.
I used my last action to send in the clowns.
Okay, so that will upgrade the critical failure to just a regular failure with no effect, no net effect on that. So an 8, so that's just nothing. But the clowns were used as your third action. So the writing gets more frantic on that whiteboard, trying to hold up more things, and you're having to try to like keep going at it, and eventually the clowns are all just sitting and staring and watching you, and then they get into kind of a shoving match and kind of draw the attention off of you as you're like a little weirded out by the gnomish grandmother, who eventually just like forget you and kind of fades off into nothingness. While Marion is out there on the stage, the rest of you preparing for pyrotechnic tricks or whatnot, a few of you notice something. Fabian, Horatio, and Oarshisk. As you're preparing backstage, a little cautious, a little weary of what's going on, you track a figure. Like you notice, you get especially you, Oarshisk, being the stage manager type, get this kind of sense of how many people are supposed to be backstage at a given time, and there's one extra person slinking around. And you look back and forth, and you see a tiefling with kind of like scales, it looks like just a fleeting image in this coat, and kind of doing one of these, like trying to traipse through a little bit. And you clock him just as there is this puff of green smoke kind of back by the buffet table where the foodstuffs are. But you, just as this smoke starts to come out, the rest of you spot this figure. What do you do?
Can I run through my mental library of
Sure. You think for a second. You don't think you've seen this individual before.
Okay. I would try to see if I could stealthily approach without them noticing.
Okay. I'll make a stealth check for you, Oarshisk.
But that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Oarshisk, you're coming forward stealthily. I should ask Fabian and Horatio. Well, Horatio's on stage. Fabian and Marion.
Marion's on stage.
Marion's on stage. Sorry. I get confused all the time. Fabian and Horatio, what are you doing as Oarshisk kind of sneaks off toward this individual?
While I have time, I will sort of circle around, make sure if he tries to escape some back way that maybe I can cut him off if he tries to bolt for it.
All right. Fabian, also positioning yourself.
I think I just want to walk up and I want to see if I can tell what he's doing. What is this green smoke stuff?
Okay. Interesting. See, Horatio. Horatio, you kind of look as the cat clown and the lizard folk kind of go around to opposite corners to box him in. You can't quite tell. It doesn't seem to be casting a spell of any sort. It seems to be just kind of innately breathing forth this green gas and seems to kind of push it out once it exits his mouth. Kind of push it out and along the foodstuffs. And you're trying to kind of figure out, Horatio, what this is happening. As that happens, it looks around, and then he looks over his shoulder real quick and looks directly at you, Orashisk. And he can stop for a second, but there's a performer in the way. One of the dwarven throwers was like trying to, just having a drink behind a crate. You don't expect him there, and he's like, ooh, spills his beer over, and you see this tiefling bolt and immediately vamoose out the back door as quickly as possible. It doesn't seem to fully affect everything. You see that there was like a large area where a lot of the animal foodstuffs was being kept, alongside like the craft services table. Food regulations not so high on the circus priority list, but you do manage to stop him before he does any major damage. So each of you gets 10 experience points. However, some of the food and lingering effect of it seems to affect some of the performers. Currently, everyone is taking a -1 circumstance penalty to their trick checks.
Oh no.
But he goes just as the opener and the clowns are out there winds down. So it is the time before the build-up. What do you all do? Do you continue with the show or pursue the tiefling?
How long do these tricks last, generally? We've done these tricks before. How long would the build-up last?
Let's see. The build-up would last, say the entirety of the circus is probably an hour and a half. So each one is probably like 15. Each act is probably 15 to 20 minutes long. Say about 20 minutes or so.
I mean, we already know who it was. They were just the thug hired by the Celestial Menagerie. And, they've already done their thing.
I just want to make sure, real quick, they are not, circling back around. So I'm gonna...
Do you give chase, Oarshisk?
Just to the entrance.
Okay.
Or, whatever opening they left, to try to see if I can't see if they're, going back off into the woods, or if they're going back to town, or if they're just, Yeah.
Okay. Oarshisk, you dart after this individual, and you're pretty fast, so you manage to go back into the back area where all the wagons are and everything, and it's in the evening. You can spot the tracks and kind of the footsteps off in the distance of this tiefling that is circling back around to the front of the circus. Kind of he's making a perimeter around the tent.
So he doesn't look like he has an intention of leaving, or...
No, he's going to the front entrance of the tent.
Where is Horatio at this point?
I think Horatio would probably be backstage with the pyro. I mean, the pyrotechnics is probably, managing all the different fire things. Probably since Fidget and the Flamboyant sisters are about to go on, coordinating with them and working with them, getting them ready on with all their equipment.
I'm gonna run back in, and I'm gonna get Fabian or Horatio or whoever I need to communicate to Marion that he's circling back around the front. I don't know if you want to keep an eye on that.
I'll tell Marion, so you can prepare for your trick. I've got time. I'm at the end. I'll see if I can keep an eye on him till then.
Maybe just shoot him away.
or so. Just I don't know. Try to keep an eye on him. But that's the direction I saw him going last. Was towards.
You're
the
a clown. Maybe you can humiliate him into leaving.
Perhaps.
Well, no,
or at
I'm
least
talking.
force him into an area where he's highly visible the whole time.
Yes, I
I
don't know
can
if
be
you-
annoying. I can stick on him.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So is anyone going out to the front to see if you can spot this tiefling?
I will once my trick is over, yeah.
Okay, Marion and Fabian.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
I'll do it
assume
in the
this is like
meantime until it's my turn.
between Act 1 and Act 2.
Right, so you
I'll-
spot the
I'll set
tiefling
up.
just as the Act 1 is closing, so Act 2 is about to go on stage.
So like Marion's coming off stage, and I assume like as
You
he's coming off,
tell-
this is being
point to
ref-
Fabian, like, go follow, and, like, usher yourselves quickly out to the front. Okay. Well, Act 2 goes on, and begins as Fidget just comes out. Pow, 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 pow! Fireworks off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just absolutely going crazy with it. The Flamboyant sisters have to kind of like catch up and start juggling. So there's immediate like flame display right out of the gate. So I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and roll for Fidget and the Flamboyant sisters. So Fidget normally has a +9. But due to the this little lingering poison effect this tiefling inflicted upon you all, it is just a +8. The Flamboyant sisters have the actual fire trait, so they're still just at a kind of the offset from the pyrotechnics. Or no, the pyrotechnics doubles the excitement. Yeah.
excitement. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. So we'll do Fidget first. So anyone wants to roll a d20 +8, you're trying to get a 20 or higher.
I can do it. Roll.
Do it.
20 +8.
Nice.
Ooh,
A 25 is a success. So on Fidget's first one, that doubles the excitement. So instead of 5, it is 10. With the pyrotechnics amped up, kind of like tuning up the fireworks with a little bit of magic. Oh no, it's not a fire one. You're correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
But should it be?
But it's not because they only get one trait or whatever, right?
Alchemical fire. I mean, it is fireworks.
It is fire.
Or 2 traits or whatever it is they get. They have injury and something else.
I mean, can we
Alchemical
switch
injury and
alchemical for
prop.
fire?
Yeah, I mean, they're fireworks. Come on, like you do pyrotechnics, the fireworks should do it. So I'm gonna make the executive decision to say instead of the, we'll say it has alchemical. Injury doesn't make sense actually because they're not using the save really. You could get injured, but Fidget's special and knows how to use these very well. So instead of the injury, it has the fire trait. Fidget. There is just indoor fireworks show going wild. People are just absolutely losing it at this little rat folk that is throwing up, and Fidget just immediately takes to it. She's like, a fish to water, is in the whole performance and like tossing fireworks behind her back and catching them and throwing them up again, throwing up 2 fireworks at once to explode together in the middle of the air. People are loving it. So anyone who wants to make the second check at a -5, so it'll just be a d20 +3, can make a second check, or you can stay there. You don't have to make any more checks if you don't want to.
I think that's fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we should make a second check.
I mean, because we
Because-
can always
well,
sit in the
'cause
clowns, right?
It's
Uh,
20.
Yeah, it's DC 20. She had a less than 50% chance to succeed on this check. So her chance to succeed on this next check with only a +3?
3.
Yeah.
It's very small. She has to get a
She-
17 or better.
She needs a 17. Yeah.
And you can only send in the clowns once per act. So if we send
Yep.
it in
Right.
now, then if Flamboyant critically fail, we wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
Good point.
Let's
Well,
let her quit while she's ahead.
Okay, just one big
It's-
fireworks show.
It's her
And it's,
first one, just kind of easing her into the water.
Yep.
I'm not pushing her out of the nest yet.
Like, say, that's good, Fidget. Okay, just, you're putting on a little bit heavy. It's just the build up. Like, bring it back, and she's like, looking back, like, oh, okay, bye, everybody, bye! And heading back to the stage. The Flamboyant Sisters are trying to, like, catch up with as best they can, but, you know, they're just, they're juggling fire, so they put on a good act of it and kind of, you know, get the crowd like ooh and ah and a few points. So anyone who wants to make a check for them, that'll be a +6 to their roll. It's a DC 15 for them though, since they're only a level 1 trick.
Oh, got it.
Nice.
Natural 20! Point. 26. That is a critical success. So on a critical success, not only are you generating some excitement, you also are generating anticipation.
1 anticipation.
1 anticipation, and then 2 excitement.
Nice.
Which
Yeah.
gets doubled to 4 because of
4.
pyrotechnics?
Yeah.
Or does it
Right.
get increased to 3 because of the multiplication rules? I think that's it.
Yeah, because does the critical also double?
The excitement? No.
Okay, so okay.
Oh,
So it's just
okay.
double. It's just doubles for pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
1 goes to 2. But, you know, people are loving it. Like the Flamboyant Sisters, seasoned performers, both of them, the twins, just absolutely dazzle with their fire juggling. So you can still make checks with them. The next one will be +1.
So you'd have to roll.
So 11.
Regular failure, but
Just
we send
regular.
in the clowns, it becomes a regular success.
Yes, that can happen. But we do some clowning around here, and with that generate another point of excitement.
Which is doubled to 2.
That's right.
Because the clowns are on fire, apparently.
Yes, the clowns ratio does a little bit of magic, sets off a little, you know, fire. The clowns are used to stuff like this, so they come out and they're like, whoa, there's so much fire going on, oh my god. And really just rile up the crowd, who's getting pretty warmed up now for the big number. While Fidget and the Flamboyant Sisters are performing, we have both Fabian and Marion going out to try to spot this tiefling. Fabian, you are out first. Marion, you're trying to catch up to Fabian. Can't quite figure out like what the hell's going on. You just got off stage. Like, what the hell is happening? You go around just as Fabian. You clock the opening tent flap is open, and you see this tiefling talking to Ruana and Delamar. And kind of like they're huddled together for a second, and they're kind of ushering him in. They spot you as you come in, and they all kind of panic and like run inside. So you've seen the 3 of them now, the tiefling, Ruana, and Delamar, go in to the theater to where the audience is, as Fabian and Marion, you catch up to each other.
Great. Did you catch that, Marion? Do you see those?
Yep. Let's follow them and make sure they're not doing any funny business.
Did they split up? Which way should...
They all went in that like circus flap entrance together.
Okay, well, let's hope that they don't start splitting up on us. Didn't expect to need security.
Okay. So you follow them through this circus entrance. Okay. Let's see here. Make another secret check for y'all. So, Fabian and Marion. You head in as quickly as you can. You see that there's a couple of stands right to either side. You see Delamar go off in one direction, and then the tiefling and Ruana go off in another. And they're heading kind of toward the stands, kind of going underneath them, and kind of quickly like darting back and forth and the fireworks exploding on stage are a perfect cover as everyone's turned toward the fire happening in the middle of the circus. They are scattering off into the audience.
All right, so we should split up, right?
Yep. I'll go after the tiefling and the.
In Ruana.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Here, I will give you one of those, and I will go after Delmar.
Okay. You head off and kind of go underneath the stands. Let's see here.
Is any of this visible from the stage?
I guess if you peek out from backstage, let me make another round of secret checks for y'all to see. Oarshisk, you can't quite tell. There's there's basically fireworks happening between you and where this is happening. Same thing for Faith and Horatio. There's too much happening with the Act 2 build-up for you to really notice what's going on here. But Fabian and Marion, you are basically doing this chase scene underneath the stands of the circus, trying to get to where they are. Delamar is definitely the slower one to pursue in this case. So Marion, you just kind of stride forward, pretty practiced in combat, as Delamar is kind of just like tripping over a wooden beam, seeing his rapier getting stuck here and there amongst the wooden supports, and kind of like trips over and lands a little bit sprawled out underneath the stands. You are able to catch up to Delamar.
Mr. Janvin, do you need help getting to your seat?
Why, yes, I could use a bit of assistance if you're willing to give it, Marion.
Right this way, sir. And I'll just grab him by the back of the shirt, and I will take him back to the stands.
Okay, so out to where the audience is sitting in the front?
Yeah.
Okay, you just kind of lift him, and he's kind of giving a little bit of resistance, but not very much.
Babysit him in the stands.
Yep, that's the plan.
So, Fabian, the tiefling and Ruana are a bit more nimble. The tiefling you see is kind of bounding over this, and then they split up in two different directions.
Quick, divide yourself like a slime.
I
Do it.
don't have that ability.
You do the slashing damage to yourself.
Yes, all these folds conceal another smaller cat. No.
You see them split up.
I mean,
but
I feel like
then
that's how cats work, but
you start to see Ruana mutter something and make some kind of arcane gesture with your hand.
Well, I will attempt to interrupt her by sort of distract. I don't want to flat out cause conflict yet, but I will try to like interrupt her spell casting by, I don't know, being a general nuisance right in her face, clowny things.
Doing some clowning?
Bounce up in front of her, maybe try to startle her.
Okay.
Not something hostile. I don't want to knock off the sanctuary. But...
Go ahead and make a performance check.
Okay.
So, reading up on her little entry, she can make herself look like other people? Is that it?
Oh, damn. Performance check is so bad.
Yeah, Ruana is a bit devious and a bit dangerous, is what you know about her. She definitely has some arcane knowledge to her, and she can use this usually to amplify her voice, and makes it very handy for being a barker. And the ability to shout at people, humiliate them, kind of do a lot of trickery and that kind of thing. So Fabian, you attempt to kind of cavort about and be like, hey, oh, hey, woo, woo, do a little slip and roll and tuck. Ruana does not seem fazed by this whatsoever. A seasoned circus performer, she knows, she kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. But as she finishes doing that, you see the tiefling disappear, vanish.
Right. Invisibility, I'm guessing. Not that I...
If you had to place a
Well,
bet.
Boy, I wish I had made that perception check.
I will sort of say under my breath. Maybe it's time you join your friend back in the stands.
Ruana kind of stops for a second. Says, "Gladly. Would you escort me to my seat?"
Yes, I assume you have a ticket.
She goes, and there's a bit of a sparkle as she withdraws one from her pocket.
Yes,
Of
I will bring it over to
course.
Marion.
Oh, so you're trying to escort her backstage?
Well, back to
No,
sorry, back
Marion's-
to he's with
Oh, with where Marion
Axel
is.
and
Sorry.
Delamar.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep
Sorry.
them all.
I keep getting the brothers confused for some reason.
Let's keep them all as rounded up as we can.
Okay, so you kind of come back out from the stands with Ruana as Marion comes out with Delamar. And they
Does
kind of look at
Marion-
each other,
Does
scowling.
Marion speak sign language? I can't remember. Who
No,
I-
the only ones that know it are Horatio and me, and you.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I
Well-
thought Fabian did.
Yeah, Fabian. Fabian knows it.
Yeah,
But
I
nobody
took
else. Okay. Gotcha.
That is unfortunate.
Well, Marion would understand it, being around Oarshus as much as Marion is. So if Fabian, if you did a sign to Marion, he'd probably get the message.
Okay, I will attempt to, in very simple terms, basically sign that I'm looking for. What's the most basic, simple way I can do it? Basically, trying to get across the sense of like.
The other one got
looking
away.
for the other one got away. Something about not being able to see them. Maybe a sign for arcane. You know, stuff that Marion might have seen in our dungeon splunking.
Arcane.
I feel like there should be a sign for invisible. That seems to be
Yeah,
a thing that happens a lot.
Is it with us? Okay, maybe I'll whatever the base signs are that we would probably use in dungeon splunking a lot that might come up again and again.
I
That
don't
kind of
think
stuff.
Dungeons
Try
are
to
like a
explain
whole-
Sign
explain
for
the
invisible.
situation.
Invisible
go try and-
tiefling is definitely, do you know
go
that
try and-
sign?
Track them down. Did that?
This one sign for visible tiefling.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did that?
Comes up a lot more often than you would think.
I'll try and track them down. Were there any scents that this tiefling gave off, either in the, messing with the food or just in general?
Sort of track him down.
Hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, there was just a little bit of green smoke that may be lingering, but it's kind of hard to tell because it's dark underneath the stands, so you could try to...
Okay.
Oh,
try to-
use the
I
scent.
will try to track them down. I don't know if this will be
Ah.
useful in this instance, but
Okay,
we'll try and
so
track down the invisible person.
Okay.
I asked Justine because she knows some ASL,
Oh, cool.
and she found the signs for magic and for invisible. So first is invisible,
Great.
and magic is
Amazing. Thank you, Justine.
Magic is the thematic component.
Visible. Interesting.
Visible magic. Marion immediately picks that up. We'll have to figure out tiefling later.
Ruana. I see that you still have not exhausted your supply of hair gel.
Oh, she gives you just the meanest evil eye that she can. It's like, I see you're still a creepy fuck.
That was good enough for you. Anyway, come, have a seat. Enjoy the show.
And you kind of plop the two of them down. The rest of the audience, kind of in the nearby vicinity, takes note of what's going on here. But the Delamar and Ruana seem to sit and kind of just glare at the performance and kind of glare back at you. Fabian, you engage your cat senses for this little trail of the smell of smoke, and there's just a little bit of smoke that you can tell is going through the lines there. Okay, so Jinglepuss is going off and hunting the invisible tiefling. Marion, what do you do from this point?
Oh, I'm just going to sit between Delamar and Ruana, one
And
arm
enjoy the
around each one.
Okay, the audience gets a kick out of this. They're like, is this part of the show or whatever? As you just kind of pop both of them. Ruana is stiff and tight. Delamar does feel a little slimy, a little sweaty. So kind of like, and
back of his clothes are damp.
yeah, just a little bit has been running. So you can tell this point that being this close to them, that they're armed. You can tell that Delamar, underneath these kind of like sweating, purplish coat that he's wearing, there's like a leather jerkin underneath there. You see he has a rapier, and you see kind of like tucked partially into the boot is a hand crossbow. And then you notice that Ruana, she has a kukri, like a short sword hanging by a scabbard there, and a short bow kind of slung tight against her back.
But they wouldn't possibly make a scene now that they have identified themselves as part of the Celestial Menagerie. They certainly wouldn't make a big scene in front of all of this audience.
They're both kind of looking to each other and looking to you as everyone kind of takes stock of the situation and realizes what's going on. Okay. All right.
We are all rivals here. Let's just enjoy the craft together.
Huh. Okay. About this time, Fidget and Flamboni are wrapping up the build-up. And we prepare for the big number. Oarshisk, you get your things ready. What are you planning on doing for this trick, Oarshisk?
Oh, it's the same thing as last time. There's gonna be like some coals on the ground. They're gonna get lit on fire. There's gonna be some trapeze stuff above it. Climb the trapeze stuff and do some acrobatics above the fire. No safety nets because we didn't get that.
Don't have that upgrade quite yet. So yeah, the earlier checks for safety, were just to make sure that these poles and ropes need to be real tight, or else I'll die.
Yeah, less variables, the better.
Sure. I guess I need to figure out how Fabian is doing. So you are trying to hunt via scent. Okay.
To the extent that I can. It's not like there's a lot of breezes in tent, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, today happens to be monsoon season, and there's a strong wind in the other direction.
Fabian.
Mm-hmm.
This little bit of smoke that trails off of it. It is a sickly, acrid smell to it. And you kind of come down like a hunter, like a sphinx cat, prowling underneath the stands of the circus, with a little bit of jingle as you go. You're able to follow the trail of smoke as it comes around, like it reaches the gap between the two stands of the audience, comes around and goes in front of the audience. So the people in the front row there see Jinglepuss kind of just like low to the ground, like stalking like a cat, seeing a bird or something, chittering every once in a while. As you come along low, and people are like kind of pointing like, what? As you see, the smoke trail begins to go back toward where Marion is now sitting with Ruana and Delamar.
Is there actually space for another person?
It seems to kind of stop just like a few feet in front of where the three of them are sitting.
Okay, I will try and make it seem like I'm just doing an act to the people, amping up whatever show is going on, but try and keep an eye in that general direction. see if Marion and I can sort of make eye contact or something. Maybe make some more abstract signs.
You can do invisible here.
Yeah, invisible, caution, location, but try and make it seem like this is all like a little mini something before Oarshis comes up on stage as there's a transition.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just about... We have to figure out what happens here.
We never make it easy for you.
Nah, this is interesting. Fabian gives a few signs to Marion. Marion, you clock kind of what the situation is. Oarshisk, the cubby comes out, introduces the big number, introduces Oarshisk, the lizard folk, that will astound and perform you. As Cubby's hyping up, a few things happen pretty rapidly. There's Marion, you hear a few feet in front of you this like coughing sound and just a little bit of like green smoke appear out of nowhere. And that's kind of interesting. And then you do hear low muttering beside you of Ruana, who is trying, can't completely conceal it, but is trying very subtly to cast another spell.
That's what
Can I just put my hand over her mouth? Very subtly.
Invisibility doesn't last that long.
Last 10 minutes, which is a decent amount of time.
Unless it's heightened, but...
So... She's gonna try to get away. I'm gonna say this is kind of like a grapple check. So up to you if you want to make an unarmed attack or athletics or any of those checks that you can use.
Oh, it is definitely that.
A fist in the mouth.
Fist in the mouth. Let's see.
One way to shut somebody up, I guess.
But like a backhand, like he's throwing up his arms or reaching back or something.
You kind of got your answer. You're trying to like reach around to like stop her from casting something. She manages to twist to one side, and like still say something, kind of evades the hand over your mouth, finishes the spell, but then nothing really happens. You can kind of notice that there's, something went on, but like nothing overtly happens immediately. Then,
so it's not an abjuration spell.
Yeah, Fabian.
Or,
she does this.
Yeah, can I make it seem like maybe I was just trying to introduce our cubby, or do like a dog and cat joke maybe, or something like that, as to disarm the audience from, thinking I'm being super suspicious.
Yeah, you tell people kind of locally near you like a joke that only they can hear, so they get like a little bit extra in the circus show that other people don't get. So, just a little bit of like, so, okay. Okay. You make that kind of joke to dissuade the audience from any suspicion. People are getting a little nervous, but you're managing to manage them all right for this point. Fabian, no, it needs to be this. Let me see what Fabian. Okay. As you're kind of dissuading the audience, Fabian, you turn again, and you can't pick up the scent for a second. There's a moment of like panic and first standing on end because you kind of lose track to where the invisible tiefling is. You kind of look around, listen, but you don't hear anything. And as you kind of like struggle a little bit next to her, Marion, she's like, get your fucking hands off me. and just like straightens her red jacket out and kind of goes back to sitting.
Could have been a re-up.
So, Fabian,
Mm-hmm.
you stand there for a moment, searching around. Marion, you hold them tight, hold them close. And as Cubby finishes and Awarshisk comes out, he comes onto the ropes, gets ready. Out of the corner of your eye, Marion, you can see both Ruana and Delamar smirk as Awarshisk gets up. It's the point. It's suddenly in the middle of the circus. A ball of darkness forms. Pitch black night suddenly obscuring the stage.
Can I cast Dispel Magic?
I think you can.
I mean, I'm presumably I can see this happening.
Yeah.
This is 3rd level. Don't think it affects anything being 3rd level, but this is 3rd level. Dispel Magic. Oof. 19. It's not great.
So that's based off of the level of the spell, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then if my spell is a higher level...
So you make the counteract check. The DC is based on the level of the spell that you're counteracting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not based on the level of the spell you're counteracting. It's based on the spellcasting DC
Yeah.
of the enemy caster.
Oh.
And if it's a lower level, so if this is a 2nd level spell and I got a failure, I counteract it. Because my dispel is a higher level if it's just a 2nd level spell. But if it's a 4th level spell and I got a success, I fail. Well, okay. If it's a 5th level spell...
Okay. Here's what happens.
Here, let me...
There's a moment where there's a bit of panic, especially from you out in the audience holding them there, as the darkness kind of goes and obscures the stage. Everyone is shocked. Ooh, all that text. Okay. Okay. Good to know. The darkness appears, obscuring Awarshisk. Awarshisk, in this darkness for a moment, you hear a... break a leg. From a voice you don't recognize. But then... the darkness around you... fades. And is dispelled. From behind, you look back. As Horatio, arcane sigils hovering around his hand, dispels the magical darkness. And up there, amongst the ropes, kind of hanging off, like starting to go down the ladder, is this tiefling you saw from backstage, visible once more. There's a moment where he's not sure what to do. And then he very quickly starts going down the ladder and starts to run off stage. The audience is like just absolutely amazed, like the suddenness of everything happening, the darkness, and then the tiefling like looking very guilty and running downstage. Just burst out to laughter. There's this swell as the audience claps and cheers, and now Oarshisk is fully visible once more, able to perform. I'll say, Oarshisk, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to your trick checks as this all comes together in one fell swoop, offsetting the smoke from before. So Oarshisk, you can straight up make your checks as the big number goes off without a hitch. The tiefling running down and runs out. From where the audience is, Ruana and Delamar kind of are furious, storm up, they stand up abruptly and go marching out of the circus, livid with this tiefling going out and away. Arshisk, the big number is all yours.
Okay, let's make a check.
24 is a success. You get 5 excitement for your circus trick as you begin to swing daring do upon the circus ropes.
And then we're going to try swinging back the other way, upside down. I don't know.
Whoa!
This time a little
Crazy.
bit harder. It's -5, right?
Yes. You got the clowns if you want to.
Got to send in the clown.
Yeah, turns that 18 into a success. More clowns. That is 5 more excitement added to your circus performance. You try another check or no?
Nah. Well, that's my 3 actions.
Oh yeah, clowns we had to do as an actual action. So, all right, sweet.
As Orarchus does his trick, I will stand up and I will make a big show out of shaming the Celestial Menagerie for trying to sabotage our show in such a brazen fashion, because they know that they cannot beat us in a strict entertainment fight.
All right.
Them as the fools.
You go and announce this to the circus crowd that saw all of this go down, proclaiming the victory of the Circus of Wayward Wonders, and everyone cheers and claps as Oarshis does a few more flips and somersaults and swinging from rope to rope. People are absolutely in your camp. You feel the excitement and the pulse of the crowd as they are all just loving it for the big number. The Celestial Menagerie members seem to exit and go away, leaving you free and clear, Fabian, to return back to the stage. You're already there in front, ready to go, ready for the finale. And we'll see with the zeitgeist of everything that's gone on here, it'll just be straight checks. You're not taking any penalties or anything like that. You are all just free, Fabian, Faith, and someone who wants to roll for Victor, to do your circus tricks. So we'll start with Fabian.
Okay. Well, I guess I will, playing off that, they've seen me around, I'll try to turn it into something of an act as I try to interact with my other performers in some comical way, always dodging the fire with Victor. Just trying to create a narrative and a story that I've been slowly building about, being this cat clown thing.
All right, you play off the events of the night and try to dance around the fire of Victor and Faith.
Yep.
All right, go for it. Go ahead and make your circus trick check. Ooh, 16. It's up to you if you want to go ahead and burn the clown usage or wait.
Well, it's not a critical failure, right?
Nope, just a regular failure, which is just no effect. There's no...
Yeah, we've got 2 more people coming in, so I will wait.
All right, you can make another check.
Worse things could happen. I've clearly been flustered.
Another with a -5 this time. Unless you have the agile trait for your trick, which I'm not sure if you do or not.
I think so. I could do that. That's do maybe more of a comedy routine of errors. So and then I would do acrobatics, right?
So it just depends what your trick traits are, not necessarily like what the skills are.
Okay, yeah, I did. I took the agile.
Okay, then it's just a -4.
-4. Let me set this up. Try and make it.
19 is close, but the DC is 20 for your tricks.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm.
Sad.
I think I'm not doing too well. You know, I came up from the
Not a
wrong
good
angle. My
performance.
whole show, everything I practiced has been thrown off.
Yeah, there's
They
been a
got
lot going on, trying to thwart the Celestial Menagerie
got me.
members.
It's up to the other two. I don't know. Well, because the next is -8, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be -8 if you're making the trick check.
I mean, well,
I
I still
mean,
have a chance. It's still
Probably
more
won't get a critical failure.
Yeah. We'll try one more time.
Wait, what is your bonus?
Plus 12, so pretty decent.
So you have to roll a 16 or higher.
Let's be daring. Let's try and recover it.
Yeah, go. Go, Jinglepuss, go. No!
Oh.
Wah, 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 wah.
Okay, now bring in the clowns to pull me out.
Okay.
Can't though, right? He doesn't have another action.
Oh no, I don't. Oh.
So you
Someone else
can
can use their action.
Someone else can
Yeah.
use their action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will use my action to send in the clowns.
Okay. So you use the clowns for the act. Faith, you're like just kind of like gesturing for them to come out, and the clowns come again for the act 4, and they kind of basically help drag Fabian off the stage.
Oh my God.
You know, fanning
such
him
a-
the whole time.
I get such a good bonus, and I failed so miserably. Oh well.
No dice for Fabian.
Those were
Faith,
low
you got 2 more
rolls.
actions if you want to do your shtick with Victor.
I will do my fire dancing routine with Victor,
All right, go make your check.
and I get a +0. Oof, got a 15.
15. Nothing much. The audience is kind of
Wait,
like
you get a +0?
Well, I mean,
plus 13. You roll a 2.
for my bonus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I hero point that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use a hero point. Haha! That's
There
much
we
better.
go. 26 instead. That is a success. And your trick has the fire trait. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. That's 10 more excitement added to your circus. It is just absolutely going for it. You use that moment, use more of the momentum of the evening as you're starting to wind down, of doing these very close calls and whatnot. You have one more action. Do you choose to use it?
Yes.
All right.
The -5 penalty.
Yeah, I think we can do pretty much whatever we want to now.
15. But I
15.
failed. But
No, let's go a little iffy at the end there. But in comes Victor Volcano to do the burning, do the more fire, breathe out the fire. Victor's been a little rattled, but since you've managed to kind of chase off some of the Celestial Menagerie members, he seems to be doing all right. So anyone who wants to roll for Victor Volcano gets a +8.
Patrick?
I will roll him.
Roll for Victor. 21. That's a success. So normally he's level 2, so that's 4 more excitement. It's a success there. He is breathing fire like a full dragon out in this place. Another check for Victor, or wrapping it up here?
do one more.
And he doesn't have agile, right?
No, it's at a -5, so +3 total.
18.
But 18 does it, so another 4. And
Oh, because his DC is lower because he's
Yeah.
only level 2 trick.
Level. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Lower risk, lower reward.
Yep, exactly.
So you only get 4 excitement for that.
Do you want to do Victor's last check or leave it there? Leave it on a high note.
I think we'll leave it there.
All right. As the fire that so defined the Circus of Wayward Wonders bursting onto the scene like a fireball exploding into the performance scene of Escadar, Victor leaves it with just a huge gout of flame The Cubby the dog-faced dog goes around barking and yapping for everyone to clap, 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 clap. Everyone cheered. Everyone loved that. And the performance goes well.
So Cubby is our barker?
Yep. Cubby's technically the ringleader now. It's kind of replaced Myron Thunder Stendhal, but is also a barker. But with all of that, let us see here. So you went up, it seems, 1 on your anticipation. So your anticipation ended up with 13. And you managed to get 5, 15, 17, 19, 29, 39, 48 excitement on this. So you definitely managed to... The audience was kind of maybe a little less than half full, not a huge amount. The Celestial Menagerie members beforehand did the damage that they did. You are a new show here, so there's not as huge an audience, not quite as excitement, but the ones that are here, man, they just get blown the fuck away. As your excitement does exceed your anticipation for this show, you do put on a successful first show here in Escadar.
Yay.
So, your success, which means successful performance, your payout is prestige plus final anticipation. So that is 17 gold pieces is your total net profits for the circus. All right. And then you succeeded, so you earn 2 prestige. So you're up to now 6 prestige. Congratulations, Circus of Wayward Wonder members.
We've unlocked.
And also, by defeating...
Have we unlocked beer?
there are more upgrades you can purchase now. And also, you have put on a successful show despite the Troublemaker's intervention, so each of you gets 120 experience points.
Ooh, 120, that puts us at 900.
Right.
So close.
Alrighty. The audience begins to trickle out. The circus begins to wind down. The performers, the others that didn't go on, the Dwarven Throwers, the professor, come back to you. Professor nods at you all as you're kind of wiping down, clearing off some of the clown makeup, and everyone's striking after the performance. Professor says, I guess we all sort of saw that coming. It's not terribly surprising that Dusklight would send something our way to try and ruin the evening, but joke's on her. You persevered. Well done.
Still pretty aggressive for a first for an interference.
That unfortunately is her style. She is not subtle with her cruelty.
She'll only
And-
escalate it.
She's probably going to escalate.
Oh yes.
I mean,
she
she's
will.
already tried to murder us once, so...
Yes.
I think we need to keep a closer eye on her, especially leading up to performances. Doesn't have to be us specifically, but I don't know, we need more information.
That sounds like a good plan. If I think of anything and anyone who can help, I'll
What
see
we
if...
need is a spy.
Well, in our sideshow of Everyday Marvels, Gitteran is usually pretty good about blending in. I'll see if he can't maybe turn up some information around town. I know you've been working on finding rumors, Owashisk, but, well, can't hurt for Gitteran to give a try as well.
And Faith might be able to go too. I mean, the only people that have seen her face are Delmar and Jellicoe, right?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Because they left before the final trick.
Right.
But that's also assuming that they didn't have any other spies left in the audience, and I don't trust them to not go that far.
We should be cautious. We should... And the professor kind of looks over your shoulder, looks back to a back tent flap. It opens up. And walking through kind of sheepishly, you see the tiefling from before. And kind of just, it's not really meeting your eyes, meeting your gaze, but it's kind of
definitely on edge.
standing there.
You have some nerve.
Tiefling kind of looks a little awkward, shuffles his feet a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry. And kind of seeing him not doing things and trying to disrupt your circus and running around, you kind of get a sense that he's on the younger side. Like, seems kind of short, maybe like late teens, early 20s. He kind of says, look, I just, the part of your show that I saw was pretty cool. I just wanted to say that, and, Delamar and Ruana, they can just kind of be a lot. I'm kind of new around here, so I just felt bad. I didn't mean to fuck up your performance, Lizard Man.
But you
ask
did,
what
though.
the point is?
That was exactly what you were trying.
Because they told me to do that. I mean, the whole plan was to make it dark, and with he points to the horns. I could just kind of do that.
Ask him what his plan is now, then.
And did you not get paid since it didn't turn out?
It's like,
Rana and Delamar are pretty pissed off, and they went back, and I just kind of broke off, and
You might be in some trouble.
are you going back?
I don't know.
Because your apology is pretty meaningless if you come here especially to apologize to us and
Well,
then go back and do the same thing again next time. And if you go back, you will do the same thing again next time. I'm not saying come with us. I'm just saying don't go back there.
In fact, don't come with us.
You're more likely to die. Well, I don't know. Maybe safety in numbers, but...
Well, if you stick around, you should probably get as far out of town as you can. Dusklight is not the forgiving type.
Well, shit.
Are you from here?
No. I rolled into town on a boat not too long ago, and, well, I can do this smoke thing, so I figured a circus would maybe be a good place to, have some gold. They gave me these cool clothes. But if you're saying, like, Dusklight's, like, a bad person, then
How long have you been with her?
like, a few weeks. I mean...
Hey, Victor.
Victor comes out. Yes.
You recognize this kid?
Hey, you're the new kid. The smoke dragon. And the tiefling kind of gives a very awkward, like, kind of embarrassed bow. Yeah, the name's Aves. They call me the smoke dragon. We're working on my trick. It's because I can do this. And as he breathes out, this huge gout of green smoke comes, and as it comes, it shapes itself into this draconic form. You can see now close up that Aves has these tattoos kind of along the side of his face and kind of scrolling down that look like scales. And this lighter skinned tiefling with dark black horns, but kind of commands the dragon to come around and swirl and then disperse out into the air. It's fairly impressive as he's able to kind of do that. It says, I usually was like kind of a freak on the ships. They they, thought I was like farting up a storm or something, but now I can do that.
So you're saying you haven't noticed that there was a goblin in a he was a goblin at that point, right? A goblin in a cage. The demon that we just fought. What form did he normally take? I forgot.
So Kalkek, you knew as a goblin.
Okay, yeah.
Goblin.
So a goblin in a cage, a boggard who has her tongue cut out repeatedly, so that she can't talk. A person who is. Have you met what Arzo is his name? The Bat Boy?
I mean, they were kind of in their own little section, but I didn't really get the chance to know them.
She mutilated him for a performance, and you're telling me that you haven't noticed maybe something's up with her?
Fuck, when you put it like that.
To be fair, Oarshisk, we worked for her too.
Yeah, I'm
I
willing
think
to
that
bet,
saying
just
that
out of
nothing's
character.
wrong. Sorry.
Out of character, I'm willing to bet that Mistress Dusklight makes a point to keep everyone isolated, so that
Yeah, this is kind of like weighing heavily on you seeing Aves like this, because it is this is what she does. She is able to conceal a lot of her cruelty and make it seem like you didn't see this, misdirect, lie, bribe. She's not above doing whatever it takes to make it seem like you're part of this the celestial menagerie and all these different crazy performers, and you can have the clothes and whatnot and just fold people into her army and eventually people just lose those morals over time, and unfortunately, kind of turn a blind eye to this one cruelty. So there is you're seeing the cycle begin with this young tiefling as well.
Well, you may not have noticed it, but if you're there long enough, you'll pick it up.
So, what if I didn't go back?
But what if you did?
Yeah, but what if you didn't?
Yeah, but
What if I didn't?
I mean, we're always taking in strays.
yeah, but I don't know. Something this time, I'm just really pissed off. And I think if we don't want this to happen again, we need to strike back for once.
Well,
Surely you're not going to put this
kind of
kid at
know
risk.
where she's going.
That's a good start.
Why? Can I do? I know it's not insight in this game. What is it?
Yeah, perception kind of also figures
perception.
on reading people.
Sense
'Cause,
motive.
That's motive.
In my head, it's still a
I
possibility.
want to
this
make an
skill is
insight
set
check.
Yeah, what are you trying to get a read on, or just?
if he's lying. I mean, I want to believe him because I was in a similar situation once upon a time. But at the same time, I know who we're dealing with, and if this is some ploy, that's not,
Sure.
that hasn't escaped me.
Arshis, you are definitely your lizard brain is active in kind of that fight or flight mode of like, this is a trap, this is something going on. She's put this little kid up to it or something. Despite that, you look into the tiefling's eyes and you can see an uncertainty, this nervousness, and you can really tell he's pretty young, pretty naive, and the fact that he hasn't kind of gone back, he's been giving these clothes, he's found this place he didn't have before, he's obviously been paid well, he has this ability, so he has all the things and the components to like stay with the celestial menagerie, but the fact that he came back and is kind of like showing some remorse for it leads to believe that he may be genuine. But he kind of like, he's getting kind of a vibe off of some of you, especially like Marion, of like, hey, this is a bad idea. Kind of like, I guess I can just go. I mean, I've stowed away on ships before, but, you know.
Where are you gonna go?
I don't know. There's always a boat going somewhere.
But you know what? You help us get back at her, and maybe I won't kick you out.
Kind of looks expectantly to the rest of you.
Well, as long as we're not actually going to put the kid in danger, I don't want us to start turning this place into the culture that we left.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if it's Dusklight that you're after, I might be able to help. If maybe I could join your circus.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Might have you clean some tables as some retribution for trying to.
I get it. I've been hazed before. I understand. The new guy has to kind of go through it to earn the trust of all your senior members, but you know.
Especially when the new guy tried to ruin our last performance. It's mostly that.
I gotcha. Well, I promise not to use my magical darkness around you guys anymore. But
Well,
thanks.
at least not unplanned.
But one thing first.
Your name.
Come here.
Very hesitantly comes over.
Just gotta. And suddenly, Marion was going to grab his horns and make sure that they are real.
Ow! 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 Oh shit! What the fuck, man? Ow! Ow!
Marion, you can't just grab a tiefling by the horn.
What the? Like gestures to Faith. You have a fucking what? What the hell?
Sorry, Ruana got me once with that before.
I don't know. He never did that to me before.
Ah.
What is your name, by the way?
Oh, me? Kind of puffs up and says, I'm Aves, the smoke dragon. Cha! And you all have achieved the new trick, Aves, the smoke dragon. Puff of air, puff of smoke, the man who breathes smoke like a dragon. This smoke can make fanciful and fearsome shapes with only the wave of his hand. Another level 5 trick with air and audience traits. So he astounds with that. And you now have acquired the Smoke Dragon NPC trick as well. In addition, you all get 30 experience points for reluctantly allowing Aves to join your team.
It still could be a trap. It remains to be seen. But we'll keep an eye on it.
Sure.
30 is that what you said? Sorry. 30.
Yes, 30 experience points.
Okay.
So, with that, as he comes in, he's quick to mention to you all that he overheard something that he feels like he shouldn't have. He overheard Mistress Dusklight, a private conversation with her angelic bodyguard, that there was a place that she was heading to. And the name of this place, Aves overheard as she sneakily snuck out the back of the Celestial Menagerie. He tells you this place is in town, though he's not sure where, being pretty new himself. Aves tells you that Mistress Dusklight is going to a place called Moonstone Hall. And as you hear this name, Marion, that voice comes back to you once more. An old man's voice with urgency. Marion. Marion. There's not much time left. Hurry. Hurry! And that voice echoes in your dreams, piercing through. And you wonder what connection it has to this place, this Moonstone Hall. And what could Mistress Dusklight do down there? We'll find out. Next time on Really Playing Games, the Extinction.
Bye.